night and that they had a, quote, wonderful conversation. Wolf.
All right, Jim, thank you. Jim Acosta over at the White House. Lots to discuss with Thomas Friedman, the veteran journalist, author, and foreign affairs columnist for the New York Times and the author of the best-selling book. Thank you for being late, now out in paperback. Thanks, Tom, very much for joining us. In your new column, just posted at the New York Times, you write this: in nearly 30 years of covering United States foreign policy, I've never seen a president give up so much to so many for so little. Explain what you mean.
Well, it's very simple, Wolf. The question of the U.S. Embassy's location in Israel, whether we should move it from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, has been the most sensitive real estate issue, basically, in American foreign policy for almost 70 years. Now, for us to give that away, to basically move the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem and recognize that as Israel's capital, personally, I'm not against that in the right context. I'm not even against it now, Wolf, if we got something in return for it. What could we have gotten in return? Bibi Netanyahu wanted this desperately. He's in trouble politically at home. Trump could have come to him and said, Bibi, you want the embassy moved? That's really important for you. Here's what I want. I want you to announce a ban on any more settlements beyond the settlement blocks in the West Bank for two reasons. One, that will preserve the possibility of a two-state solution at maximum, and at a minimum, it'll preserve the possibility of separation between Israelis and Palestinians, so we won't have Israeli settlers living in densely populated Arab areas. Had Trump done that, had he done a deal, the art of the deal, not the art of the giveaway, here's what we would be in so much better situation. By the way, Palestinians then would have said, that's a fair trade-off. Arabs would have said, that's a fair trade-off. And Bibi even could have gone to his cabinet and said, look, I had to do this, but look what I got in return. Instead, Trump gave away one of the crown jewels of American foreign policy for free, probably for a sugar high to get this guy in Alabama elected and to pay off campaign donors and promises. That is pathetic, Wolf.
So you think he did it for political reasons?
Oh my gosh!
This could have been a bargaining chip.
He could have used this as a strategic bargaining chip. This is a guy who came into office saying everybody made bad deals. This deal, Wolf, this isn't a bad deal. This was no deal. He just gave this property away when he could have traded it for something that would have advanced the peace process and advanced the U.S. national interest, not the interest of his base, not the interest of his donors, not the interest of a senator in an evangelical state who wants to get elected. I'm talking about the U.S. national interest was completely abandoned here.
So does it end the possibility of what we call a two-state solution, Israel and a new state of Palestine next door?
I would never say it ends it. Who knows, what will come? Trump won't be president forever, and ultimately what matters what Israelis and Palestinians decide. But we had a grand opportunity to actually advance the peace process, to do something that would have been good for Israel, good for our Arab allies, and most of all, good for the American national interest. And Donald Trump gave it away for free.
Does it encourage the Israeli government to go ahead and build more settlements in controversial areas, including in East Jerusalem?
They're going to build in East Jerusalem. That's not going to stop. To me, Wolf, the issue is this, and you and I have covered this for so long. The chances of a two-state solution are shrinking all the time. The Palestinians already understand that about 5% of the West Bank is already going to go to Israel. That's where the vast majority of settlements are. What's at issue is Israel keeps going beyond that 5% and settling in more and more densely populated Palestinian areas. Once that gets far enough, the possibility of a two-state solution will be impossible. What's even worse, Wolf, if you care about Israel and the future of the Jewish state, any separation between Israelis and Palestinians will be possible. The president had a chance to use this issue of Jerusalem to leverage something really important. By the way, had he done it, Wolf, he could say, Barack Obama tried to do that for 8 years. He didn't get it, and I got it. Look, I satisfied the promise to move the embassy to Jerusalem, and I got a promise from Israelis to stop settling beyond the blocks. That would have been a political achievement, and it would have been a great achievement for the American national interest.
We were told that he was advised against this move by his top foreign policy and national security advisors, including the Secretary of State Tillerson, the Secretary of Defense Mattis, the CIA Director Mike Pompeo, but he still went ahead and did this. Why do you think he did this? I mean, if your national security advisors are telling you, you know what, do this down the road. I know you made a campaign commitment to do this. Don't do it now. It's only going to cause aggravation and potentially endanger Americans at various embassies?
I can't explain it other than raw, naked politics or sheer abject ignorance.
That's it. Tom Friedman from the New York Times, thanks very much for joining us. There's more breaking news. We're about to talk about President Trump's very controversial decision to move the U.S. Embassy in Israel to Jerusalem. The U.S. ambassador to the United